Never mind the Lion, the Witch and the Wardrobe. How about the King, the Maiden and the Relic? But that's no story. Hello students and welcome to Theory Class. Today I'm with Harry.
Hi.
And we will be talking about a RWBY theory.
Oh yeah.
So,
We like RWBY theories.
let's get started. To start, we have to analyse what we already know. So let's start with what we've learnt about the relics. In Volume 4, Chapter 8, Crow tells us
4 gifts to mankind: knowledge, creation, destruction, and choice. Each of them exists in a physical form.
so. That's the first we get to know, and that obviously is the groundwork for everything that everything is built on. So, let's have a grid and add them to it. We also find out that Crow also says,
The Huntsman Academies were created to train generations of humanity's protectors, but they also serve another purpose: guarding the relics.
so we know that there are 4 so basically simple, 4 relics, 4 academies, 1 relic in each. Now on to the Maidens. In Volume 5, Chapter 1, Lionheart tells us the 4 Maidens each have the power to perform feats of magic, and they are the only ones capable of reaching the relics. We now know that because the Maidens are the only ones that can get the relics, it means 1 Maiden per relic, which is fairly simple. Then Crow tells us in the same episode,
The relics are each locked away inside a chamber that can only be opened without a specific maiden. Winter for the gift of creation, summer for destruction, fall for choice, and spring for knowledge.
so let's add it to the grid. So now we've got the relics and the Maidens all locked in where we know they go. As of this recording and the end of Volume 5, we have only been shown the location of 1 relic. Volume 5, Chapter 13, Raven opens the vault at Haven with the Spring Maiden powers. So we can add that to the list. So now we know relics, maidens, and 1 location. And that's everything we know without a doubt so far. Now, I propose that the relic of choice is at Vale/Beacon, because Cinder, who had the 4 Maiden powers, went to Vale/Beacon to get the relic.
Now, hold on one sec, Steve. Cinder only got part of the 4 Maiden powers when she attacked Amber. So how can you confirm that she went to Vale/Beacon to get the rest of the Maiden powers? Or did she go to get the relic? Or did she go to get both?
Well, in Volume 4, Chapter 3, Salem says, refine our numbers at Beacon, the relic is there. So, why would Salem waste time looking for the vault if she had no way of opening it? But if Cinder is the key, then she wouldn't be wasting her time.
That's not the strongest case ever. Have you got any evidence to back up your point?
Well, if she was after the relic, we would have just had to have seen her try to repeat herself in Volume 5. 1. Find the Maiden. 2. Take the Maiden powers. 3. Get the relic.
Okay, but I'm going to take a tiny bit more convincing.
Okay, Len. Let's take a trip back in time. Before Volume 1, Chapter 1. Before the Black trailer. Volume 3, Chapter 7. Cinder talking to Adam. And she says, you are the one we need. Your skills. Your ability to lead those beneath you. You're an extremely valuable man, Adam. And we put a lot of thought into this. And she also says, when we can't actually see her, but we can hear her, she says, I have an associate in Vale. Okay? Then Cinder attacks Amber, getting some of the Maiden powers. Then she says, yes, I will claim what is ours. Now, we don't see who she's saying this to, but I am assuming she's saying it through one of those Grim things. I don't actually know what they're called.
The Seer Grim.
The Seer Grim to Salem. She's probably referring to the relic.
Is that it? She may be referring to it?
No. Cinder is planning on the attack on Vale before she gets some of the Maiden powers. Cinder didn't know Crow would interfere with her plans, and that the partially powered Maiden would get taken to Vale. This means the original plan was to go and get the relic, and I don't think the plan changed. Cinder will know where the relic is, so she would make sure she got the right Maiden powers to open the vault. I believe that the line in Volume 3, Chapter 11, what Cinder says, "She was right about you. Such arrogance," is Cinder saying, "Oh, that's where Amber is. You kept the Maiden so close to the vault." She's basically saying you kept the key to the most powerful object ever so close to it. I think that's what I believe that line now means to me.
Okay, yeah. I can see that.
Choice and fall, Veil and Beacon. Let's add it to the list. So the answer to your question, I believe she was just at Veil/Beacon for the relic. So, the only two locations left, Shade/Vacuo and Atlas.
Okay, so what do you have about these two? We don't have a lot to go on from the series.
No. Well, let's go to a map of Remnant. As we can see, Atlas is at the top of the world, and it's a very Arctic-like, very cold. Where Shade/Vacuo is the western side, a desert, very hot. The world of Remnant also backs this up. So, it would make sense if the Maiden who could unlock the vault in the hot place would be Summer, and the Maiden who could lock the vault in the cold place would be Winter. And saying the same thing, we have Winter at Atlas and Summer in Vacuo/Shade, means that when you would look at the map, it goes from going from left to right, it goes Summer, Autumn, Winter, Spring. The same order the seasons go in real life, and it's a loop. It goes round the planet, like it repeats itself.
Hang on one sec though. If you say the same thing but the other way around, i.e. Winter being in Vacuo and Summer being in Atlas, then it still works, but just in the opposite direction.
Yes, you're right. However, considering Remnant is a very Earth-like planet, I don't find it that hard to believe that the rotation also goes in the same directions, anti-clockwise, the same direction as I said before, from west to east. Right, so we'll add them to the chart. Now we need to expand the grid from earlier to add the appearance of the relic.
I know what you're going to say because you mentioned it in the reaction video. Haven's logo is a lantern, so Beacon's relic is axes, Atlas's relic would be a torch, and Shade's relic would be some swords.
Yes, I do, but to start with, I only think there's one sword. I think the other two are just decoration. Two axes being the relic of choice, one for light, one for dark. A torch for creation, as in the light of creation. And the sword for destruction, yeah, it's a sword. However, I don't think the Vital logo depicts a super weapon.
So, you spoke about the Maidens, you spoke about the Relics. What about the King? You haven't mentioned him yet.
Well, for that, we have to go to the world of Remnant, the Great War. In the world of Remnant, we learn that Mistral and Mantle work together in an alliance against Veil, with Vacuo helping the side of Veil. Crow, who voices the world of Remnant, tells us,
"It all ended in the Vacuo campaign. Armed only with a sword and scepter, he laid waste to countless men. Historians will tell you most of these stories are grandiose hyperbole and unusually violent weather conditions."
Now, for the king to have the Relic of Destruction, he would need to have the Summer Maiden on his side to be able to get into the vault. Well, unusual violent weather consistence sound a lot like Maiden powers to me. So, why not the Summer Maiden? Also, Veil and Vacuo are on the same side, so it would be easy for him to access the vault.
There's just one thing I believe you forgot to mention, Steve. The last king founded the Huntsman Academies, so there was no vault to get it out of, or as we know of anyway. It's a bit of a stretch, that last bit, if you could only prove a link to the Relics and the Maidens.
You're right, the last king founded the Huntsman Academies. The last king founded the Huntsman Academies! Of course! Of course, of course, of course!
Whoa, Steve, what's wrong?
How could I be so stupid?
Oh dear.
the last king founded the Huntsman Academies. Volume 4, Chapter 8. Crew!
When Ozpin's predecessor founded the schools, he built them around the relics to act as a fortress.
Okay, so at some point he had the relics, alright?
Wait, I'm not done. Volume 5, Chapter 6. Raven says, what do you know of Professor Ozpin? Weiss says he was a prodigy. He was one of the youngest headmasters to ever be appointed to a school. Raven, because that's how he planned it. Because the man you know as Ozpin designed those schools. I put it to you that not only did the king have the relics, but he was Ozpin and the wizard. He gave the maidens the powers in the first place. And that is how the Great War ended. And that is the end of theory class. So thank you if you watched to the end of this theory. I hope you enjoyed it. This is the first theory I have ever done. And it is a pretty big one, I will admit this. It took me quite a few weeks to put it all together and find all the little pieces. But I really hope you enjoyed it. If you see anything that you think actually there's a mistake there, please comment below, because I would love to be able not just to say my opinions on different things, but also be proved wrong. There is nothing more I love than when I do a theory and being proved wrong, because then I can perfect stuff and find out the truth.
So thanks for watching, guys.
And we will see you next class.